There we go. Alright. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summit presentation of the Starladder I-League Chinese Division. Here we've got a best-of-2 match between TongFu and Team FanTuan. This was going to be played a little bit later, but we got the match pushed up due to DK apparently disbanding. I haven't heard it from any other sources but the admins here, but yeah, they're no longer in the tournament. So they're got a 0-2 for all their matches. Everybody in that group takes a 2-0 win. And yeah, otherwise, yeah, we're looking at two matches for today: TongFu versus FanTuan, and then later on FTD.B versus Buster, which should be fun as well. For those who don't know FanTuan, a lot of the Hyperglory team members are participating here. We've got ZSMJ pretty hot in July. It's going to be really fun to see these guys in their new environment here in 6.85. Once again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Blaze, and let's hop into that draft. So, we're going to be seeing the Wyvern first pick come out of TongFu. LPC loves this hero. I think he played it both games that I cast yesterday, and yeah, he's able to accomplish quite a bit with it when he's not cold embracing his Queen of Pain to death, you know. Stuff happens, but you gotta rag on him a little bit about stuff like that. Anyways, yeah, so we've got Wyvern, Ember Spirit, a good duo to really hold the high ground and in general to find fights in an AoE sense, but they're not going to be that great at controlling the Slardar here. I think Ember might be better suited mid lane against the Queen of Pain, so that you can roam in with, like, I was going to say Night Stalker, Wyvern, but they ban out the Night Stalker, of course, on the side of FanTuan. So Wyvern +1, whatever it may be. Ogre Magi fills the Night Stalker role, though he's not as good against the Queen of Pain. Skywrath Mage? Nah, not in this kind of a game, I don't think. Anywho, we've got the Slardar Quap on FanTuan, so it's not like they're coming up empty-handed. While I'm talking a lot about the Wyvern Ember, I think Slardar Quap is probably consistently better. They just bring so much to the table. Not really high synergy between them, it just is two heroes that punish enemies that clump up significantly. So you get Blink Crush, you get the Sonic Wave Scream follow-up, and you definitely don't need a vacuum to set that up, so they're going to ban out the Darkseer as well. Meantime, TongFu, they've done this multiple times before. Second phase, they often ban out the one-position carries. There's actually only a few frequently picked one-position cores in the metagame right now, so it often forces their opposition to diversify their hero pool and show something a little bit different. Slardar, though, enables a lot of heroes to succeed. Wind Ranger's okay here because of the physical damage and the negative armor, but honestly, you probably want a hero that does a little bit more in terms of farming creeps. Like if you go Maelstrom or Wind Ranger, she can still flash farm waves and jungle a little bit, but you don't get to take advantage of a greed factor when the fighting's not going on. So you want something a little bit different here. Alchemist still okay, but of course in the pool. Bristleback for some reason is coming to mind as a decent pickup here. Ursa's been picked up a lot actually pretty recently, so I'm curious what we're actually going to be seeing here from ZSMJ, presuming he's still in the safe lane. He has run some blink rushing safe laner, so they could run Slardar safe lane and then go for an off laner that will just have better control factors against the Ember Spirit, very quick disables, probably what they're looking for. A Beastmaster's not too bad. Things like that could be pretty solid, but it really just depends on the momentum they're looking for. Do they want to push? Do they want to farm? Do they want to find the late game, or do they want to really force the issue in the mid game? For now, they've got really good Roshan potential. Fighting around the pit should be really good for the three heroes they've selected. FanTuan also have the amp damage, so they can make that go down really quickly. But TongFu, they've already got some good AoE combat. I think they'll force that a little bit more and pick up one more AoE hero in the next two picks to really just make it so that you can't fight in choke points against them.
10 seconds remaining.
Shadowfiend's banned out, leaves only a few mid heroes in the pool as well. Man, the metagame, while it has probably one of the higher competitive pools in Dota 2, it still seems like there's always a top 3 in every role. There is, like, each role, offlane, and specifically core role. Supports are still pretty flexible, but in core roles, there's, like, in my mind, 3 offlaners that are really shining above the others in terms of pick rate and overall win rate success. And then mid and safe lane is in a similar situation. There are a lot of fringe picks, though, and what really makes this phase of the draft really interesting. We're actually going to see reserve time tap down. 17 seconds left for FanTuan, 32 seconds for TongFu, and they actually go for one of the more traditional offlaners here, the Clockwork. So, has some decent chance of surviving against the Lion in general. I mean, Impale Hex is a hard thing to deal with if you get caught out no matter what, but yeah, I think Clockwork's not too bad here, and can make it so that there's no Spirit Breaker pick here. Spirit Breaker Slaughter is pretty annoying, It's okay for Ember to deal with it, but maybe another mid would have
10
issues. So the
seconds
Clockwork
remaining.
also can be a good early responder to that threat. Spearbreaker's
5
still in the
seconds
pool.
remaining.
I think it's a decent pick, but Bounty Hunter is probably FanTuan's style here, I think.
Reserve
I guess I can't talk too much style when I don't know what they really run in terms of tempo,
TongFu's
but
turn
they're going to go
to
for the
pick.
Omni Knight and really just dash all those ideas away. Omni Knight, a really solid hero overall. Obviously won't be able to prevent disables in the sense of the hookshot, the cogs, the Arctic Burn. Wait, why did I say Arctic Burn? Winter's Curse. I don't know. Sometimes I'll flip-flop those. But anyways, so you're not going to guaranteed have like 100% fight time. The Wyvern will still be able to disable
10
you, but just getting the
seconds
free
remaining.
BKB on a hero is still very effective, and you can start fighting very
5 seconds
actively with the
remaining.
ultimate. Your Guardian Angel, great against Sleight of Fist, and of course Repel,
Reserve
going to be
time.
strong in this game no matter what. TongFu go for their next two. Now the question is, do they want to go for a Diffusal Blade carrier? Generally a must-have against an Omni Knight, but for now just going for the Rubik and
Radiant team banned.
controlling their support lineup. So Rubik, Wyvern, not the most aggressive duo, to be honest, but they have some good potential here. I mean, Stealing Crush could be amazing for Rubik. Even just something simple like a Blink or a Lion Impale will be pretty solid.
10 seconds remaining.
So we'll see them go in and try to make some cool things happen here. I think they're
5
looking for Zex
seconds
Bingo. Oh,
remaining.
they got the Clockwork for Zex Bingo, so he'll be okay.
TongFu's turn to
U9
ban.
and Shinkyu have been kind of swapping roles a little bit here, but Shinkyu is mostly the safe lane Ember Spirit player. U9 probably wanted something like a Templar Assassin, but that's of course going to be banned out here. And Wind Ranger will be actually taken out by TongFu too.
TongFu's turn
I
to
mean, I
pick.
mentioned it earlier as a possibility. Obviously, Repel and Windrun is great, but they're just going to go with something a lot simpler, and they're going to start
TongFu's turn to
deathballing.
pick.
See, the thing with an Omni Knight draft is essentially you have a ton of 5-man potential as soon as Omni Knight hits 6. So you might as well just put a hero on the front line to start breaking those towers down and have the Slaughter sitting behind him. If they ever try to go on the Viper, Omni's got the heals. If they ever just go for like a full-on movement with tower defense, Slaughter is going to initiate. I feel like once Blink comes online for Slaughter, Omni Knight
10
gets
seconds
6.
remaining.
It's going to be TongFu that are really struggling here. So I'm curious how they draft
5
around that,
seconds remaining.
knowing what they're up against here. Offlane, no.
Reserve time.
They don't want to put anything duo with the Clockwork. They have to solo that, and they're going to go Razor for the mid lane here for U9. So overall, it's just early game fighter versus the early game fighter, Razor versus Viper. It's not great, especially against the Queen of Pain, if that's the matchup, and I think it is. I think it's going to be ZSMJ safe lane Viper, and the Queen of Pain will take the mid against Razor, and Queen of Pain destroys that matchup thanks to Blink versus Static Link. But all in all, maybe the Razor will be okay. There's a lot of single target spells here: Viper Strike, Hex, and Mana Drain if you count it. And I don't think Lion will ever Mana Drain a Razor, but it could happen. And then of course Shadow Strike. So the passive of Razor will be strong enough, and more importantly, just the fact that he comes online early is really important for TongFu not just getting run over by FanTuan. FanTuan will hit their stride 15 minutes into the game and try to deathball through the next 10 minutes after that.
Remaining.
But the Razor is a hero that will be ready to fight around that time in the game. Alrighty, let's go. Oh, it's going to be safe lane Quap. I disagree with this. Razor, very clearly going mid, and you're going to put the Viper against him. We've seen this matchup go back and forth, and while I'm confident in ZSMJ's farming capabilities, I feel like the matchup's kind of a wash. We've seen whoever gets boots first generally had the advantage in the matchup, and I guess you'll see the Viper get that a little bit sooner. But honestly, like, since you don't want to put the Lion or the Omni Knight behind the Viper in mid, I feel like you're taking what would be a dominating lane with the Queen of Pain and turning it into a just kind of a wash with the Viper. I mean, of course, the safe lane Queen of Pain will be better against the Clockwork by a small extent with the Blink initiation, but I wouldn't say that it's like a really important factor. I mean, still, the Clockwork can't go anywhere near Viper either. Oh well, their call. We'll see how it pans out in terms of the lanes, and let's just look at the items early on. We've got DDR running on the Omni Knight here. Gonna go for the early Mango and Clarity. This is really gonna allow him to flesh out his mana pool and, of course, spam out that Purification. Got Lion here, Pretty Haw. I've seen some really good plays from him on that hero, so looking forward to what he can do with it. ZSMJ playing the Viper in July on the Slaughter offlane, leaving Paparazzi, the only one I'm not as familiar with here on the Queen of Pain safe. Looking for that null tally start. on the side shot. Trading bounty rune for 1, no big deal. It's going to be U9 to take the Razor mid. A boots first Rubik from LPC. Usually you'll see this maybe go for like an aggressive move into the enemy jungle, and you'll see they did get the wards down, but they weren't able to find anything in terms of a first blood. So just blocking off the camps, which you would consider important in general because there's an Omni Knight in this draft. Omni Knight, pretty weak in the laning phase, definitely can benefit a lot from just sitting back and stacking and pulling rather than trying to just harass or zone in any capacity. But yeah, I think that because they put the Omni Knight up top with Slardar, that they're not going to be as sad about the fact that they have no pull for 6-7 minutes. Anyways, that does leave Pretty Hot with pretty little to do. Maybe he'll go for a stack here. Nope, just gonna move it around. He was looking to stack the easy camp, and he doesn't find either ward with the first sentry, so that's gonna stay on lockdown. So we've got ourselves a 1v1 Queen of Pain, getting knocked back a little bit by Cogs here, but otherwise X-Bingo, he'll do okay. It's not going to be an amazing lane for him, but he'll get a 6 at a pretty good time, and Paparazzi will get mostly free CS. Up top, though, it could be interesting. I mean, seeing Slaughter, Omni Knight involved against this tri-lane, I feel like there's some decent potential for Injuly to get up in Xinqiu's face. To introduce the others, I'm actually surprised to see LPC playing a different hero this time. He played Wyvern twice in a row yesterday, but now he's on the Rubik, leaving Faith to run the Wyvern. They got a ward against them, so it's going to be hard to kind of catch the Omni Slaughter off guard, and of course, with either Purification or Repel level 1, even harder to actually get a kill out of it. Mid lane, U9 here is currently leading CS 6-2 versus 4-2 for ZSMJ. This is in part due to the fact the Wyvern did come in and drop an Arctic Burn, while Pretty Hot didn't really do anything as far as I can tell. It looks like he's used Earth Spike once, so maybe he Earth Spiked Razor mid and I didn't catch that, but in either case, Razor is leading for the moment. Zex Bingo down bottom, though, got hit by the Shadow Strike. It looks like it'll be a blink forward and an Earth Spike play on the Clockwork if they are really getting hungry for kills, but they're maybe afraid of the Battery Assault that is actually not skilled just yet. A little bit of Arctic Burn, dishing it out, but Mango and just a single Tangle will probably help the Slaughter stay afloat in terms of HP. And the Omniot will go for the Rune, while the supports are worried about stacks. So yeah, they stack the Eastern Hard Camp and stack pull the Western one. I think they'll get this, so 3 creeps. But in the meantime, Omni Knight grabs the Invis Ring before LPC can get to it, because he was busy stacking. So you look at this value. Double stacks the creep camp, and although the ward seeds it, it is going to be these 3 dire creeps being denied out 100%. Clockwork did get the bounty rune, so jackpot for him. He's going to maybe try to get more involved against the Lion, but he probably has to have a TP if he does that. Like, boots and TP are pretty important here, because if you go 1v1 against Pretty Haw, you kill him off in the cogs and then you TP immediately away, the Queen of Pain really can't punish it before she has her ultimate. You're just tanky enough to most likely survive that exchange. Omni Knight still only level 1. I was hoping for a little bit more for FanTuan here on the top lane, but we're actually going to see Zex Bingo here in some trouble here. Did use the power cogs earlier, so it might actually be him going down. One more right click. The healing salve is not going to be enough. And that's going to be first blood in favor of the Queen of Pain, Paparazzi. And another pull attempt, but it looks like they'll be distracted. Oh, a couple creeps are sticking to it. Nope. In the end, they get a little ADHD and they focus on their own thing in the lane. So this is going to give Omni Knight his level 2. Finally. It's taken a little while. LPC looking for, I would say just... I mean, look at this. 52 static link stolen on the Viper. The Queen of Pain would never have 52 damage taken away from her against the Razor. So I feel like there's a definite mismatch as we see 16 and 7 on the Razor and 12 and 2 on the Viper. I would have definitely liked to see ZSMJ bottom. Oh well. But yeah, LPC trying to see if he can maybe snipe a courier or do anything cool here. But in the meantime, he's just kind of watching from above, waiting for opportunities. And up top here, actually, you do see Xinqiu dodging out. Very nice dodge of the Crush. If he got hit by that Crush, he'd be taking a lot of damage here, as they do have both pure and physical damage. But they're going to get the Repel in July, and they get the Crush to kill off the Ember before the Omni Knight goes down. Now in July, he has a Mango. Will he go for this play? I think he will. Sprint on to his opponent, but he has to cancel that Crush because he nearly whiffs it. There it is, Faith going for the Embrace. He'll wait it out, and then he'll go for the Crush and try to right... Oh, too early in July. And there's no kill potential there any longer. it would have been close anyways. Even with the slow 335 ms of Wyvern with boots, he was the crush, and he would have to have like 2 or 3 right clicks easy. Though he did get a first hit bash. I'll note that. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, my mind's playing tricks on me. The Phantom Bash. I don't know. Well, Lion tries to participate in the lane, but the Observer Ward scouts him out, and they just punish him very quickly. So they know Pretty How's not bottom, and Zexbing will get a little bit more aggressive here. Not much though. The Queen of Pain still has his number. And actually, Pretty How immediately TP's down and grabs the bottle to fill up for the Queen of Pain. Another stack. Good priority for TongFu here, trying to really build up their cores here by getting these stacks. And it also helps the Wyvern and the Rubik acquire level 6 faster, because they're going to be soaking up experience from that when the stacks start getting farmed. Yeah, it is the same faith from IG. So for right now, just Magic Wand and Omni Knight, no boots. Wand before boots. I mean, you are up against 3 heroes, 2 spell casts each per fight, so I mean, you're definitely going to be able to benefit from it and get more purifications out in the lane. But I feel like he might regret not having movement speed. Speaking of, Viper being pulled back into the river here by LPC, and now rotating in just manually. The Clockwork gets the cog play and gets that kill. Now we're going to see a nice little exchange back and forth here. Enough mana on the Omni Knight to go for another purification play, but Slardar, he probably just wants to heal up on his Tranquils, and then they can go in again. Usually when you'll see that big of a commitment to the mid lane, that's 3 heroes mid, you'll see a greater opportunity to go aggressive up top. And we're going to see that TP come up top with the Purification Nuke. Paparazzi looking for the Sonic Wave to just burn him down quickly. No more immolation for you. And now Faith gets hit by the Crush. That's a double. And that's what I was talking about. When you have 3 heroes here, you really want to force the issue on the top lane on that Ember Spirit before he had 6. So they rotate the Queen of Pain, they get it done. And that's, of course, very effective. And it just shows maybe a bit of a limitation for this Dire War. They didn't see the Queen of Pain until she was already here. You TP here, and then you blink forward, and it's already too late to get that information. But the reason the Chinese teams, and a lot of teams, will... missing action. I mean, it looks like it's just a quick little pick. Shadow striking on the Rubik, who was too far forward. But the reason they ward so far back is because, of course, if you ward in a more traditional spot like here, or here, it's much more likely to be sentried out. Anyways, we got a flank happening down bottom. It is a tough target in the Clockwork, but still definitely a possible kill with the DD rune, and they're going to get the initiation they need for it. So Zexbing going down pretty quickly, and last hit will go to the Queen of Pain. Yeah. The only thing I was curious about for that Rubik death, it's not how they got the kill, it's why the Rubik was there if he has such good ward vision. They had 2 Observer Wards in the mid lane. I'm guessing the Queen of Pain just blinked in and caught him off guard, but I'm not sure. Oh well, first kill missed of the day. Hopefully it'll be the last. Rotating up here, Faith. Gonna be looking for an opportunity, but I think the Omni Knight will just kind of stay behind the tower and make sure Slaughter's safe to farm the wave. Zexbing really needs his 6, but they're putting some good tower pressure out. I think they forced the early glyph for the Dire to... yes, they did. Invis rune for Paparazzi. How far does he want to go with this thing? I'm wondering. Like, if you use your bottle well, you can pop the Invis rune, bottle, and TP all at once to a lane, and that can really catch somebody off guard. I saw a minute phase time though with the bottle cooldown. Oh, look at this stack. Pretty good farm for the Ember Spirit. I mean, they've already tapped into this one, and that's obviously what's helping their levels overall. You see 2 level 4 supports though on TongFu no matter what. So Shinkyu amped up, a little bit worried in this situation. Like, he can be nuked down so hard. One misstep and he can be crushed, purified, and that will take out the vast majority of his HP. But even with 2 supports behind him, he's feeling a little bit antsy, I'm sure. Zexbing needs a TP scroll. He's got a hook shot, but he doesn't really have any way to move elsewhere with it. So he needs to Corey out of TP most likely, because he's not going to get to the side chop anytime soon. We're going to see Slaughter lifted up here. The Omni Knight kind of zoned away from his ally. They're trying for the double chains here, but the Purification, just a repel coming out for the Slaughter. Misses the Crush. This is going to be at least 1 kill, maybe 2. No, DDR pops the one under tower, and Shinkyu trying to TP away from the Viper Strike, but ZSMJ has his number and might have another one. U9 comes on in, though, and gonna scare ZSMJ off. So the Rubik will live, but that pickup on the Ember Spirit. Almost an unintentional bait, whiffing that stun. The Ember was just had all the moxie to press forward, and ZSMJ punishes it pretty nicely. That's what happens when you use all your men on Ember Spirit. I mean, he really wanted those kills, and he almost had them, but FanTuan just had the next level reinforcement. Zexbingo does have a TP now, but not really going to be able to take advantage of it. Looks like the Queen of Pain actually, like, considering sparing his life. He was doing the math on it. Sonic Wave there would have brought him very low, but I think with his magic wand, he's just tanky enough to withstand it. And then Queen of Pain didn't commit too hard. We're actually going to see Lion killed off here. Nice telekinesis and just jumping right in. Paparazzi probably shouldn't even be in this neck of the woods. Pretty Hot's definitely dead here. There's no way you get away from these two heroes at this stage. They don't even need the hook shot for the kill. And we'll just look at overall net worth momentum as a result of these kills. We have a 7-4 kill lead favoring FanTuan. We have a 3k net worth advantage right now for the Radiant, but their experience is only here about 500. They're stacking up a little bit. They're putting a lot of heroes in the same place, and they're not taking advantage of the jungle as significantly, I would say. Paparazzi is pretty free to play around here, though. Essentially, the only way TongFu finds a kill on him is either with a really good Searing Chains from Shinkyu, or essentially the Queen of Pain has to be forced to blink early in the fight, and the Clockwork finds him with the hook. But we'll see. Shinkyu might be... He doesn't have Slight, so they're just going to go in with the hook shot early. Paparazzi can just go to the tree line here. In fact, he looks to turn it around. Sonic Wave would be a kill here on his Zexbingo. Looks for the TP. Will it be enough? Very close, but no cigar. He'll live at his fountain. In fact, Queen of Pain gets chained up and will be falling. LPC pulling back ZSMJ, and Shinkyu just TP's out. U9. Oh, this is a free kill on the Lion, too, it looks like. He's very close at hand, breaks the link just narrowly, so yeah, Pretty Hot will be able to walk away with those Tranquil Boots. I think even Brown Boots, and he's in some real trouble there, but he does have that movement speed advantage when they're not broken.
Dire's middle tower is
And look at that Blink Dagger timing. It's 3,800 net worth on the Slaughter. He beat the Ember Spirit, who had two supports behind him in lane. He is now higher GPM than the Ember Spirit. He now has Blink Tranquils, and he can find kill momentum very rapidly. The question is, do just the Purification Blink Crush, does it do enough against Ember Spirit? With the amp damage, it's almost there, but without it, I don't think it's even close. They'll try for it, though. At least they'll take away a ton of his HP. He pops the Flame Guard, but that doesn't do anything for him. They do get the amp damage out. There's the Purify, and the right clicks! Yep, that was a very smart play from Intellect, going for the amp damage. You get a less of a surprise factor and more of a counterplay potential from dropping the amp, but it's worth the cast animation just to increase your damage so substantially. Now he goes out of Faith. With the Earth Spike, they'll get that kill too. Very nice repel there from DDR when Zexbingo caught in July solo, and he's going deeper, using the Blink Dagger under tower. That's going to take half his life, and the Finger will claim the rest. Right-clicking him inside the cogs. Down goes Zexbingo, and down goes LPC. ZSMJ coming in from the side. We will, however, have U9. He was invis, but now pops the mechanism to help out LPC. And we actually have an interesting spot there. Lion going down to the Ember Spirit, as he just gets caught under the Remnant there. U9, though, he gets isolated. He just gets slowed down too much by ZSMJ, and they just keep... Faith, what are you doing? Even with your ultimate, this might not be the right play. Omniac still has a Guardian Angel, and he's going to be popping it as soon as possible here. Pops the Guardian Angel. Now they're going in hard. Onto Faith. Onto LPC. Cold Embrace will delay it, but both, I think, are falling. And that is going to be now a 13-6 triple kill for ZSMJ. Wow, what they didn't accomplish entirely in the lanes, they make up for entirely with how they played that last fight. Absolutely immaculate movement from FanTuan, and I feel like TongFu could have gotten out a lot cleaner. I mean, those last 3 deaths were completely unnecessary. They thought they could turn it with the Winter's Curse, but you have to remember this spell doesn't actually do any damage. So all you're doing is forcing an Omni Knight to attack somebody with his 78 damage right clicks, and then immediately making them invulnerable to all physical damage. It's like Cold Embrace, AoE without stunning your ally. Seems like a pretty good spell, huh? So we've got momentum here. Paparazzi really wasn't involved in those kills, though. He's 4-1, though. Even though he really didn't get a piece of the action, he's still farming very quickly towards his Orchid. Is going to be caught out pretty hard by Shinkyu. Forced back, but he's got the regen rune to fall back on. And now Slaughter looking to hunt Shinkyu. This definitely could be a kill with the Sonic Wave. But Bingo might interrupt it with the hookshot. We'll watch the crush come through. They're going to be able to nuke him down quickly. There's the Sonic Wave for the kill. And Bingo a little slow on the hookshot. He'll TP away. That is still a very nice kill for the Queen of Pain. She's going to have that Orchid so fast. And this Ember Spirit just can't go Battle Fairy now. He has to go Manta. Pretty off. Really, really low HP, and enough spells thrown at him to bring him down before DDR can respond. But here comes July. No repel for July, but there is going to be heal bomb for him. U9 gets a lot of damage, though. And this is actually not as clean of a fight as they wanted. Faith is going to TP away, and U9 going to try to TP, gets crushed, and now has to fight it out. But with Mechanism, he might be able to... No, he gets converged on 4v1. I feel if he didn't TP and he just started wailing on somebody with that 100+ bonus damage, he might have been able to trade his life 1-for-1. But going for the TP with Slaughter able to crush, that was a death sentence, and we'll see a hard push here. Scouting out deep inside, Bingo gets caught out. Very nice game sense here from in July. They had an observer ward. I think they just saw a little visual of him, and now they indeed see Faith as well. Blade Crush, easy peasy. Golden Embrace will not save you here, and that's going to be another 3 kills that just shouldn't happen. At least the last 2, but this Observer Ward doing some work. It's been there for 6.5 minutes. Pretty hot. Very preemptive in laying the groundwork for this Tier 1 push. It doesn't just turn out to be a Tier 1 tower, it turns out to be a hell of a lot more. As you see the gold and experience graph just skyrocket in favor of FanTuan. Shinkyu finds out Paparazzi, but now he's silenced up. Paparazzi gets a blink away, and in July I think might find this kill. Doesn't go for the amp damage this time, but he does set up Lion for the finger, so all is well that ends well. They get a great kill once again on the Ember. This Ember Spirit is 2-6-2. Shinkyu just having a really hard time and seems to be just completely outmatched by the laning phase he was up against. The Slaughter Omni Knight is, I would say, nearly a perfect counter to his safe lane Ember Spirit. So if there's one thing that TongFu are doing wrong with their drafts, it's being so predictable with what they want to do with the Ember. They always run it safe lane instead of sometimes mid. And what that means is they can just go for a dual lane that does physical and pure damage exclusively and render Flame Guard irrelevant. Now U9, a little bit too far forward. A stolen repel from Rubik actually does a lot of work, and a Sonic Wave as well. LPC, you madman. Starting to begin to turn the fight, but they need to get at least 1 kill out of this, and they're not getting any. The Omni Knight keeps everybody alive. Shinkyu on the back line wants just 1 kill. He might get 2. Oh, he misses the slide on pretty hot and brings him down with the Remnant instead. U9 gets crushed here on the front line under tower, and Shinkyu runs for his life. Run, run. As fast as you can. They might just catch him despite being a gingerbread man. Yeah, there's the Orchid, there's the crush, there's the kill. So Ember Spirit did get a lot of gold. 579 gold from the Omni, not 497 from the Lion, but in the end it looks like they're still getting more and more blood on their hands as Faith under tower pops everything he's got, and still very dicey spot for him. May I mention that CSMJ already has Guardian Greaves up? It's not just a mechanism, it's a full Guardian Greaves, so they have all the HP mana sustain they need. LPC here gets hit by the crush. I think CSMJ finishes this by himself, but no. The steals from this Rubik are insane. He's got the blink, and he'll be able to get out. I gotta highlight LPC's play there. I mean, like I said, I've pictured him to be preferring the Wyvern, but we see why he prefers the Rubik. He just stole Repel to completely turn around a situation involving the Razor. He would have been completely dead without even a fight otherwise. So the Repel was immaculate. The Sonic Wave steal turns it around to set up the Ember Spear for 2 kills. Like, that's just immense. I mean, TongFu is still getting run over, but those kinds of plays, if we see more of that, it could start bringing the game back. At least just trading kills and getting a little bit gold. You see that fight? That was a stomp for FanTuan, but the gold and experience plateau is because of Ember's 2 kills. 1,000 gold just from picking up the Omni and the Lion on the back line. The Guardian Angel also unavailable for 40 seconds here. So I really don't think they want to push this at the moment. What's that, a Force Staff? Yeah, coming out. Force Staff coming out for Slaughter for in July. And it looks like a Halberd for Viper could be pretty good. SMY is great too, though. And mobility is pretty important here, I would say. So we're just going to go in. They feign going for the tower. They jump right behind enemy lines 2. Take down U9. World Embrace or not, he's dropping quick, but a Finger of Death Steal puts Injuly at half HP. They'll crush on Shinkyu. He can't finish Injuly just yet, and the Force Stab might just save him. It's CSMJ with a monster kill streak, and a Purification brings Zespingo really low too. Shinkyu comes in, he wants to kill so bad, but he gets crushed, and the Angels guard them. CSMJ is fine. He's killing off Faith for a triple, while Paparazzi cleans up a double, and that's going to be a 28-10 kill score at 19.5 minutes. GG called by TongFu here, and an absolutely amazing game of Dota coming out from FanTuan. Wow, just wow. That is, I'm looking forward to seeing more of this team already. This is one of their first matches here in Starletter I-League, but hell yeah, Team FanTuan. Now, I mean, the Omni Knight pick and the way they played around it, it showed this aggressive deathball style, and I loved every minute of it. That was absolutely amazing to watch. I'll still stand by my sentiment that the Queen of Pain probably should have been mid and the Viper bottom, but that's the only thing. Everything else was so smooth. The Omni Slaughter is my new favorite counter to a guaranteed Ember safe lane. It's probably a pretty bad lane if the Ember goes mid and you put like the Razor safe lane. There's nothing an Omni Slaughter really can do to the Razor +2 there. You just can't get aggressive, and the Omni Knight has to maybe rotate somewhere else. But no, that's the lane they knew they were going to get. They knew Shinkyu always takes Ember safe lane, and they take advantage of it with only physical and pure damage. There's not a single magical spell in the bunch. So Flame Guard is just a immolation spell. It's just AoE damage. It's like an Ion Shell. And that's not what makes Ember Spirit strong. It's the fact that he gets that extra tankiness against most heroes in the game of Dota 2, but not Omni and Slardar. So I love it. I want to see more of it. Team FanTuan taking Game 1 of this 2-game series over TongFu, and we're going to be going into a quick break before we jump into Game 2 and see this one to its close. Technically, the schedule is a little wacky right now. One match was canceled as DK disbanded. I believe if we have fast enough matches, we'll just push the other match forward too, but we'll have to wait and see. Thanks once again for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in a little bit.